Hello, and welcome to another episode of the P.R.O Show. My name is Bess Gamble Williams, and I'm always here, as we have been before, to educate, motivate, and most importantly, to let you know the real facts of who we are as people and as Native Americans. This episode will be about us as good parents. Good parenting skills starts from the home. And I want to share with you some of the skills that my parents used with me and also my neighborhood and how they helped us to grow. Some of you may even call it old school. Old school was where it was at. And I'll tell you why. It's because if you stepped outside of your door to even go to the store, all eyes were on you. My neighbor, Miss Betty, my neighbor, Miss April, my neighbor, Miss Naomi, they were watching me every way. And if I did anything wrong before I got back home, guess who knew about it? My parents. My mother was a loving mother, and I had a loving grandmother that raised me as well. My father was in my life, yet they were both separated. But they made sure that I was taken care of, well taken care of. And I want to tell you, when you start with good parenting, you've got to make sure that you know it's something to do with your name. Your name is everything. When you step outside of your house, you're representing your family. When you step outside of that door, you're representing your mother, your father, your grandfather, your grandmother. Everything about your family is representative through you. So when you misbehave, that's seen too. I want to tell you something about when you let your children go out into the world as a parent. Make sure that they're just clean and presentable. They don't need any of these name brand clothing or shoes. We didn't have that. We had very simple clothing. As long as it was pressed, it was neat, it was clean, and you looked lovely, that's all that mattered. Another thing, respect. Respect to the elders is utmost in my community. We're a community of Native Americans. I am Choctaw on my mother's side and Cherokee on my father's side. And I have more Choctaw in my blood than anything else. And that's thanks to our Chief Pushmataha and the Choctaw, East Choctaw natives of Mississippi. So let me tell you, in Rose Hill in Texarkana, that was well known. You had so many tribes that lived there that no one ever infiltrated us, ever. We never had any Ku Klux Klan. We never had any cross burnings. They respected us and they knew us because we were business people too. My whole world was known as business. When I stepped outside of my house, I saw a cleaners that was owned by a black man. I saw a grocery store that was owned by black people. I saw candy stores that were owned by black people. I saw men that came down the street with a mule pulling their cart with fresh vegetables. That was my world. I could get fresh watermelons off of their cart. That was my world. Business was owned by black people. So that's all I know. And that's why I have always aspired to own my own business and not be a slave of anyone else. That's what my community taught me. So when I tell children today, especially my own, when you're in school, respect the teachers because educators were everything in our community. Because that meant one thing, that they not only went to school and college and got degrees just like the white folk. They got degrees to come back and teach us what we needed to know about ourselves and our own history. And it was taught. We got the old books that was hand down, and that was okay. Because if you would look at the old books, you would see names of people that might have been your grandmother or your great-grandmother. Their names were in those books. We had hand-me-down books, and that was an honor. It was an honor to see someone that you knew that was in your family. Their name was written in that book that was handed down for us to learn. But they stopped that. By the time that they integrated the schools and I was in third grade, all of that has stopped. Now we started getting new books, new history, their history, new ideals that were just not in cohesiveness with what I know I had been taught, especially my Black history. We have to teach our children to be respectful of all of our elders in our tribes and in our community. Yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am is very prevalent. It has to be. You cannot and you should not ever curse out an adult, especially an elder. They've been here longer than you. And as my grandmother used to tell me, and you should pray that you could live at least as long as they have, and let the Lord and let God give you the wisdom that they have to teach you. Be involved with your children. Know everything that's going on in their backpack. Don't just take it for consideration that what's in their book is just papers. There are things that you may need to sign. There may even be their report cards in there that you need to see. I know every day that I meet my children, when I pick them up from school, first thing I want to know is, how's your day, baby? How was your day? What did you learn today? Tell me something different about today. My children will tell you I was very involved in their lives because I love them. And if you love your children, you'll do the same thing. Don't expect the teachers to raise your children. That's not their job. That's your job. We'll be back with more interesting facts and lessons about parenting and what's in a good name. And I want you to stay with us. Thank you all that are followers of me now, and thank all of you who will probably start following me if you want to learn the truth, the right way, and how to be a good parent. My name is Bess Gamble Williams, and I'll see you again on the P.R.O Show. Thank you for following and listening.